My name is Megan. I'm 25 years old, and I've overdosed 3 times.
Over the last couple of years here, we've just seen an increase in people coming into emergency with overdoses. On some weekends, I see up to 4. I think the addiction crisis levels are climbing because drugs are more readily available to everyone.
There's a lot more methamphetamine in Regina now. And then throughout North America, we're seeing the opioid crisis. We are going to more overdoses than when I started 18 years ago.
We're seeing challenges in our community that are directly linked to addiction and to the challenges that come with addiction on a daily and nightly basis.
How are you doing today?
Well, I've been better.
Yeah. My name's Kelly. I've been working as a nurse practitioner for 13 years, and a lot of that has been with people with addictions. Okay. And do you know what you're taking? 2 root causes of addictions in Saskatchewan are use and abuse of prescription medications. These prescription medications are being bought and sold and introduced to people on the streets.
There definitely is a crisis. I think it's very important that people realize that there are many faces to addiction. Addiction affects everybody at every level of society across the spectrum.
I grew up in a really good family. We were always close.
Megan was the perfect child, really. Good friends, loved sports. She was every parent's dream. I'm sure every parent's.
When I got into the drugs, there was just no stopping.
Addiction can be going to a party and being exposed to crystal meth once, and then that addiction behavior starts to run your life.
Addiction is a chronic disease, just like diabetes or heart disease. Because it is affecting your brain chemistry, that chemistry changes and it feeds the addiction and it becomes a vicious circle.
It can control you. It controlled me. The last thing, basically, that I remember is I was standing in the kitchen. I took the one pill and I took the other pill. Then when they collided in my system, it basically tranquilized me.
When I walked in and seen her lying in that emergency ward, I did not know how she was going to come out of this. How could this happen? How could this happen to our family?
It could happen to anybody. It could happen to anyone you love.
Addiction doesn't know age or gender. It doesn't know culture. It doesn't differentiate in terms of what area of the city that you live in, what your background is.
You feeling like it might be a time to talk to someone in regards to your addiction? People that are struggling with their addictions on their own and they don't have help, they're hiding from their families, they're hiding from their friends, they're hiding from their coworkers, but their addiction is real. Making that step to be vulnerable and to ask for help is very difficult.
I would say to those out there suffering from addiction is there is help out there. There is help.
I think the way forward in this crisis is several-fold. It's not going to be solved, obviously, by one simple approach, or it already would be solved. I think it's important that physicians are up to date on the dangers of prescribing high-dose medications and how that can lead to further addiction issues.
In an ideal world, we need 24/7 access to a specialist in addictions.
We have to have immediate access. And so this means it's a commitment. We all have to make this commitment.
A little bit about what's going on. First Nations communities need more help and support in regard to getting addiction support. Things that we would think are so easy to access, there's great barriers out there. Out in little towns, out at reserves, transportation is an issue. There's shame and stigma that is attached to that as well.
The stigma of addiction needs to be broken.
Starting in schools, because the young people are our future.
If we can educate our youth to not start, then we save ourselves so much trouble down the road of having to deal with the treatment aspect.
Youth need to be informed that drug use, drug addiction can kill you. You die from addiction.
I think education is an absolutely imperative way to get youth and individuals in general out of this crisis, because the earlier the intervention, the more adept students and youth are later in life to deal with things if they do run into a situation when they have addiction as a problem in their own life.
The addiction problem in our community is everybody's responsibility. It impacts everybody.
In order to elevate addiction onto the radar of Saskatchewan healthcare, we really need to acknowledge that it's a big problem.
As a registered nurse, I am scared about our addiction crisis because it's scary to see someone dying, plain and simple.
This is a community problem. We can solve it. I know we can solve it. It's all about service and it's all about working together. If we really want to enhance community safety, we have to dial it right back to the root cause of it, which is the addiction, and find a way to help people through their addictions.
If we don't get a handle on this crisis, we will continue to lose the people that matter in our life.